At 17, he cracked the most secure device Apple had ever built. Alone. In his bedroom. No team, no funding, no permission. Apple had 50,000 employees and $50 billion in revenue. He had a soldering iron. Apple blinked. His name is George Hotz, and every major technology company has tried to control him. Apple, Sony, Tesla, Elon Musk, NVIDIA. Every one of them failed. This is the story of the only hacker nobody has ever been able to stop. In June 2007, Apple launched the iPhone. It was beautiful. It was revolutionary. And it was locked into AT&T. You couldn't use it on any other network. Apple's engineers were confident no one could change that. The baseband chip, the hardware that controls which carrier a phone connects to, was protected by multiple layers of proprietary firmware. Apple assumed the wall was permanent. George Hotz was 17. He was in his bedroom in New Jersey. He saw the wall as an interesting puzzle. He worked on it for 72 days. He reverse-engineered the baseband chip without any documentation, without a team, without being paid. He physically modified the hardware, soldering wires to specific points on the circuit board to gain access to memory sectors Apple had locked at the chip level. Then he wrote the unlock code from scratch. On August 24, 2007, George Hotz posted a video online. An unlocked iPhone, working on T-Mobile. He was the first human being on Earth to accomplish this. He posted his instructions, all of them, for free. Apple's legal team reviewed their options. Suing a 17-year-old who had given away his work for nothing would be a public relations disaster. 2 years later, he turned his attention to Sony. The PlayStation 3 was considered the most impenetrable gaming console ever manufactured. Sony was so confident in its security that they sold the PS3's computing power to the United States Department of Defense. 9 universities purchased them to build supercomputer clusters. The architecture was genuinely complex. The cell processor, layered encryption, a hypervisor that isolated every program from the hardware. No one had broken it. George Hotz broke it. In 5 weeks, he found the exploit in the hypervisor, a flaw that let him run unauthorized code at the hardware level. He posted the method online, all of it. But then Sony did something unusual. They pushed a software update that removed a feature called Other OS, the ability to run Linux on your PlayStation 3. It had nothing to do with Hotz, but it affected every PS3 owner. The community was furious. Failoverflow, a group of hackers found the root cause of Sony's security failure. Sony had made a catastrophic mistake in how they implemented elliptic curve cryptography. They had used the same random number for every signature. If you understand cryptography, you understand why that is one of the worst mistakes a security team can make. The private key could be calculated from the signature data. George Hotz found the number. He published it. That number was the master password to every PlayStation 3 on Earth. Sony's response was immediate. They filed suit in federal court. They demanded the identities of everyone who had accessed his website. They subpoenaed his PayPal records. They froze his assets. They sent legal notices to Twitter, YouTube, and Google. For months, Sony treated a 21-year-old with a blog like he was an enemy state. He had stolen nothing. He had damaged nothing. He had read a number, written it down, and shared it. So he published it again, on Twitter, with a note. The internet copied it to thousands of sites within hours. Sony's attorneys finally understood they could not unring this bell. They dropped the case. George Hotz was 21. He had just beaten one of the largest corporations in Japan in federal court without a single lawyer on retainer. In 2015, he had a new target: self-driving cars. Tesla was promising full autonomy. Waymo had spent $3 billion. Every major automaker had an EI team. George Hotz looked at the problem for a few weeks. Then he built a solution in a garage in San Francisco. Not a concept, not a demo for investors, a working prototype, running on a used Honda Accord, on a real highway, at 70 miles per hour. He recorded it, put it on YouTube, driving with his hands off the wheel in Silicon Valley traffic. Elon Musk watched the video. He offered a job. $1 million signing bonus, stock options, resources, a full team. George Hotz said no. He told Musk he would build a better self-driving system than Tesla as a side project. Musk posted the email exchange publicly. He called Hotz's claims a super bad idea. George Hotz launched comma.ai. Openpilot, the software at its core, is fully open source. Anyone can read it, anyone can modify it, anyone can install it. The hardware it runs on costs $999. It doesn't promise robo-taxis. It doesn't promise cities without drivers. It does exactly what it says. Lane centering, adaptive cruise control, automatic braking, on the highways where you drive today. As of 2024, more than 40,000 vehicles run openpilot on public roads across 60 countries. Not lab conditions, real roads, real traffic, real emergencies. The accident rate for comma.ai users is significantly lower than the national average. George Hotz built what the billion-dollar teams were promising, and he built it in a garage. In November 2022, Elon Musk completed his acquisition of Twitter. He fired 80% of the company in 1 week. He needed engineers who could execute without bureaucracy. He called George Hotz. Hotz agreed to a 12-week contract to fix Twitter's infrastructure. He showed up. He started working. 12 days later, he quit. He posted a public explanation. "I came in to fix search. They wanted me to fix something else. I disagreed with the direction. I left." Not dramatically, not with anger, just a decision. Elon Musk is the richest person on Earth. He controls SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, the Boring Company, now X. George Hotz worked for him for 12 days and decided it wasn't worth his time. Let that land for a second. He returned his hardware. He moved on. That tells you something about who George Hotz is. His current target is NVIDIA. Every AI company in the world depends on NVIDIA's hardware. The H100, the A100, the chips that run GPT-4, Gemini, Claude, every major AI system. One H100 GPU, $40,000. A standard AI server rack, $2 million. The software that runs on them, CUDA, is proprietary. Only NVIDIA chips can run it. This is not an accident. It is a business model. If you want to train AI, you rent NVIDIA. You don't buy, you rent, forever. George Hotz looked at this and called it what it is, a monopoly. So he built a competitor, tinygrad, a machine learning framework written in 1,000 lines of code, small enough to read in an afternoon, transparent enough that a single engineer can understand every line of it. Not a toy, not a research project. A real framework that trains real models. In 2024, tinygrad ran benchmarks that matched or exceeded NVIDIA's own optimized software on specific hardware architectures. NVIDIA is worth $2 trillion. George Hotz is one person with a text editor and a grudge. He is not scared, because he has been here before. Look at the pattern. Apple had the most secure device on the consumer market. He unlocked it in 72 days. Sony had the most secure console in history. He found the master key in 5 weeks. Waymo spent $3 billion on self-driving. He built a better system in a garage. Elon Musk offered him everything. He worked for 12 days and left. NVIDIA controls the hardware that runs the future. He is building the escape route. Every institution he has encountered has tried to own him. With jobs, with lawsuits, with money, with opportunity. He has declined all of it. Not because he hates corporations, not because he is anti-success, because he believes one thing more than anything else. Technology should be open. The tools that shape how we live, the devices in our pockets, the software in our cars, the algorithms deciding our futures. None of it should be locked behind a wall that only the powerful can see through. That's not politics. That's the founding belief of every hacker who ever mattered. George Hotz just happens to be better at it than almost anyone alive. At 37, he is still in a garage somewhere, still reading code no one else will touch, still publishing what he finds. For institutions keep building walls, he keeps reading the blueprints, and he always finds the door. The truth has always been there, hiding in plain sight. If this changed how you see history, share it with someone who needs to know. Subscribe to Hidden Legends, because every legend hides a darker story.